Hello. Can you
Hey,
hear me?
Rabbi Mel.
Hi, how are you? Neil?
I'm very well, thank you.
Rabbi Neil. Baruch Hashem. I love your library. You look great.
Thanks.
So we here want to chat for a few minutes. At another time, we'll chat longer. I'd love to speak to you and see you and hear you.
Thank you.
But right now, I just want to find out, firstly, what your experience at AJR was like, what attracted you to it, and what did you learn there that was significant for your rabbinate or your professional career?
Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing well and your family's doing well.
Thank you, and same to you, yes. And we'll catch up about that. It's very important, yes. And happy Yom Ha'atzmaut. Chag Sameach.
Thank you too. AJR California was a wonderful experience for me. I appreciated the flexibility and the open-heartedness of the administration and the faculty in order to exercise and pursue the rabbinate in the way that I was able to do so, commuting from Austin. And I know you've changed it in the last little while to necessitate less travel. However, at the time, it was very, very important to me to be able to take advantage of the generosity that you offered. And when I was there, I was not, I took full advantage of the great diverse faculty that you had and that you still have in terms of learning not only normative rabbinic work, but also Sephardic practices as well, namely with Rabbi Chaim Ovadia and Rabbi Daniel Buskila, which were very important to me and remain important to me to this day. And the creativity and the openness of the faculty, in addition to the Cheverschaft of the students, was a very important aspect in the difficult practice of commuting every week.
Right. So that was a wonderful journey to just to exert yourself to be able to imbibe the spiritual dimension at AJR and the model of trans-denominational, to try to imbibe from the best of all denominations and to try to preserve the unity of the Jewish people. And not only did we want to emphasize textual study, but the whole person, the spiritual dimension, the consciousness, so that you could serve your community in the most wholesome and healthy way. So what is it that you find in your community in Austin that's unique, and how do you engage with the challenges there? What are some of the challenges and some of the beautiful integrations and entry points that you make with the community there?
Well, for sure. And I think that sensitivity to the pluralism of the Jewish people comes into direct play with me every time I work. I'm on a 40-acre campus in Austin, working alongside my colleagues in the Reform and Orthodox movements. And I think that sensitivity, that attention to detail, that recognizing the polyvocality of voices is something that I learned a lot at AJR California, and it's something that informs my rabbinate all the time. Austin also is a hub for people who come to explore new things, whether from the West Coast or the East Coast, and that recognition of more than one way of doing things is a very important foundation in the way that I conduct myself in my community.
Right. Austin is quite a unique city. I hope to visit there someday and imbibe from its beauty. I've noticed over the years that you do a lot of interfaith work, and you also integrate music and jazz and the soul of music that helps people reach the soul and brings people together into special heights. And the interfaith piece that we at AJR2 emphasize, we work with Jews, Muslims, Christians of all faiths, and we have advanced studies in that. So tell me your experience with that and how that's impacted you.
Sure. Well, I think it's a very important aspect to get to know your neighbors and to craft real relationships together. And I admire very much the work that AJR California has done, and I try to emulate that in some small part in what I do. And I think it's very rewarding in order to share who we are and what we are with people who are genuinely interested and in kind to receive the wisdom of their traditions, informing and sharpening sort of who I am and what I am also. And that translates very well in my community also.
And you also utilize music. I see you participating with jazz bands and other things. How does that enhance your work? How does that fit in with you?
Very much so. And it certainly uplifts what I do also, whether it's outside of the community doing jazz sort of appreciation and conversations about issues of the day within the lexicon of jazz as a grammar or a language, and certainly with nigunim practice, which is very healthy and robust in my community as well. Having trained previously as a chazan or a cantor, it's something that I think flows very well together, just like the Sephardic and Ashkenazi ideas and the trans-denominational work. I think that's true in worship and philosophy of worship as well.
Beautiful. And as you look outside to the Jewish community and to the world today, what are the one or two major challenges that you think we face as a people and as a society, and how do you address that in some way?
I think very often Jews speak past each other and don't allow that beauty and that nuance of shared religious or cultural experiences to flower. And I think that that's manifested politically and certainly in conversations around Israel as well. I think that's one aspect of it. Another aspect is appreciating the traditional sense of what a matbeah is, or what prayer is, or what music is, or nusach. And I think that that's something that needs to continue to be guarded so it's not lost. And I think these are just things that are done by example day after day, that there's not one surefire way of doing that. It's inspiring emergent rabbis, presumptive rabbis and cantors to love these ideas and to be confident in who they are, and to support people who are interested in getting into that conversation, holding many ideas and speaking a truth in which others can see, be motivated and inspired, and create community and that hard work of everyday engagement.
So I love what you're saying, because you model tensions between creativity and tradition, and realize the importance of all of it. And you speak directly to others, you accept difference, and you listen to them. And that's so essential. You know, one of the problems we have today is people want new models of synagogue life and new creative ways where they feel they can enter, because some of them are not educated, and some of them were turned off by some of the values that they experienced there. So you're bringing in the beautiful model of openness, of being spiritual, respecting others, and having a faith in our tradition that has the depth and the beauty to share and uplift the world. So yasher koach for that.
Thank you. I think it's very important in the grounding on which to be able to do this creative work is the daily minyanim that is central to my community, both morning and evening. And I think that is exactly the vault onto which others can aspire to learn day by day, incrementally, to have the confidence of being who they need to be.
Right. I love that as well. I go to the Daily this morning. We had a Yom Ha'atzmaut minyan, and we said Hallel, and we said the Hatikva, and it was so moving and meaningful, and it was so large. So many people participated, and the sense of Judaism has not only individuality, but the sense of community, sense of obligation to the community. That's something in our Western culture that's sometimes ignored, this radical individualism and authenticity, but at the expense of belonging, which promotes identity as well. So Judaism holds these poles and the tension between them, and we have to engage with both in order to succeed and continue, I believe. So the daily minyan is one of the greatest ways to connect, to create community and connect and reach spirit through the davening. It's beautiful.
For sure, and that Yerusha will go a long way in sort of helping to address some of the malaise or issues or uncertainties that we all feel.
Right. So today is Yom Ha'atzmaut. You mentioned the challenge of Israel. That's also something that in our community we have different ideas, and Elu ve'elu divrei Elokim, both these and those are the words of living God, as long as it's done with the proper motivation to want to bring peace and bring people together, and people have different ways of doing that. But that's one of the challenges of our day too. How do we bring together these different voices and find that they can respect each other rather than judge each other? So is that an issue in your community as well?
Well, for sure, it certainly is, and I think in many communities, and it's keeping the door open. It's cultivating trust among the various stakeholders, and not walking away from conversations and meeting people where they are, while again modeling a sense of Ahavat Israel in a way that brings people closer to getting to know each other and to appreciating the miracle that Israel really is in our lives.
So that's beautiful. Getting to know each other, that's another key, rather than stereotyping and fearing, but simply getting to know the humanity of the other. And one way to do that is also to try to engage with their own fears, their own sense of victimhood, both sides, and try to see that there's no alternative that's better than peace, you know, and once that's in the psyche, I think that might go a long way. So you're a peacemaker. Your values are filled with respect and humility and passion for what you believe in. And those are three great triangular pillars that I think are going to make a wonderful difference. You've made a wonderful difference in your community. That's why I wanted to speak to you today, to also give you AJRCA and to tell you we'd love to have you continue the dialogue with AJR and with your community, and we could come out to visit and also perhaps teach a class there. And now you know that we have the online courses and community courses as well. You could even take advantage of them if you want. You mentioned Rabbi Abida or Skila, that they're teaching as well, online courses, so you don't have to leave Austin. The Israel of the Galut, right? Well, so nice to speak to you. I'd love to speak to you longer, but we're putting this on the website and people only have about 6-minute concentration. So we want it to be powerful. So we're going to end now. And if you'd like to ask me anything or say anything more before we end.
I'm just very grateful to the vision that you have had and so many others to continuing to make more robust AJR California. And I just wish you a chizuk and thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much. Shalom, shalom. And hopefully we'll be in touch soon. So glad that we got a chance to talk. Have a great day.
Thanks.